Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Pseudo's Crochet and More. Today is going to be a tutorial for the wrap that I showed you guys the other day, the X and O's or Hugs and Kisses. I did finish it yesterday. I was hoping to do another top like this one. Unfortunately, it did not have enough to do that edging around this side, so I just left it as the X stitch. Now this was a 4-weight yarn, the Caron marble cakes that I got from Michael's when they clearanced them out of the store 2 years, almost 3 years ago, maybe two. It was 2 years in like January, because I started crocheting late in 2020. Now this one here, I do not have my measuring tape, and I do apologize for that. This one is, if you want to make it the size this one is, it's a starting chain is 145 plus 5. The multiple is going to be 3 plus 5. But I'm going to show you on a smaller scale. Now the smaller scale is going to have some corrections to it because on this one here, I accidentally did something I shouldn't have done. I still like it, so I'm going to leave it how it turned out with this one, but I'm going to show you in a better way on the tutorial here. So I am using a 6mm crochet hook. Now you will have seen a review or a show of these hooks on yesterday's video. You will see this on Saturday. This will be a special video this week, so I hope you all enjoy it. I do believe this is a 3-weight yarn. This was purchased at a Goodwill or a Salvation Army when I first moved to Virginia in August, September area, when I got, no, actually August. I kept looking up for yarn deals, of course, and this one didn't have a label. I do believe it's 100% acrylic, maybe loops and threads impeccable. I got it for 99 cents. So, and it was dated 7/31, so it was in August, early August when I got it. There was a lot of times when I did get to the store, one of the Goodwills or Salvation Army, the yarn was already grabbed by other people, so okay, I'm gonna have yarn barf, but that's okay. I was trying to get that plastic off of there that was wrapped around it. Now you can do this stitch in any weight of yarn. I would suggest if you're doing it in a 3-weight to maybe use a 5mm. If you want tighter stitches, you can do the recommended for a 3-weight, which I do believe is a 4 to 5mm crochet hook, depending on the company that you get it from. But I did use a 6mm crochet hook with the 4-weight yarn. And I'm going to like I said, I'm going to show you on a smaller scale on this pattern. I do like this blue, so I tried to make sure that I got a color that you guys could see up against my black desk here. And I do apologize, this is by doing it by right hand. I was going to try to do it on my phone and use my stand to show you guys, that way. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened to my phone stand to do that, because I can't get it to where it'll look down. It's only looking straight ahead. I don't know. My husband's been using it to do TikTok videos, so on reviews of adult beverages. Alright, and I just flinged that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead, like I said, it's a multiple of 3 plus 5. So I'm going to start with a chain of 21 and then add the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to just make sure that there's 21 here because my hook did fall out there for a second. So go ahead here and just count real quick. Okay, I do have 21, and then I'm going to go ahead and add 5 more. All right, and now the first row is going to be triple crochets. So you're going to go ahead and yarn over twice and then skip 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in the 5th, if you can see this end of the 5th, you're going to go ahead and pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, and go through 2. Now this first chain 4 is going to count as your first stitch. So I'll show you that again. Yarn over twice. Okay, yarn over twice. There we go. All right, and then into the next stitch. Go and pull up a loop, yarn over again, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. So there's the first 2. Go ahead and repeat that down to the end of the row, and then I'll meet back up with you at the end. I am going to just go ahead and keep recording. I'll talk while I'm doing this. You can go ahead and go back to that, the first one, or you can just keep watching on how I'm doing this. And I'm sorry that this isn't really, I mean, it is picking it up, but it's kind of far away. So there's the, let me go ahead and there's the pull through 2. Oh, well, my yarn wants to stay on my hook here. That'd be wonderful. Try to do a tutorial for you guys, and this is just not wanting to work with me. And I do apologize for the squeakiness. These are plastic hooks. I like the, well, that did not look right. Let me go ahead and do that again because that is not what I want that to look like for you guys. All right, so yarn over twice, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just continue on here with this row, and I'll get back to the tutorial once I get to the last stitch. All right, so just to talk while I'm doing this here, finishing out the first row. Next week, like I mentioned in Thursday's video, I will be going to a local yarn store in York, Pennsylvania called You and Me. My husband has to go out there for some work stuff, or else I'd be going to a couple Lynchburg, well, one Lynchburg location. The other one's has to go out of town this weekend, so I wouldn't have been able to go to that one. So it kind of works out because I wanted to do both stores on the same day and then show you guys on different weeks the stores that I visited. We will not be taking our daughters with us on that trip. They will have somebody watching over them, so I'm not worried about that. They are having some kind of green festival that day, so I'm really glad that they're going to be staying home. Unfortunately, we can't always take them everywhere. We like to if we can, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. Right. Let's see here. Now you can work into the back bumps if you prefer to do that. Just on the first row here. So that's what it's looking like so far with the triples. Now if you don't have, if you are, if you're new to crochet and you're not sure where the turning chain is, you might want to go ahead and put some stitch marker on either end of your stitches here. For this one, it would be the top of the chain 4, which is right here. This is going to be your turning chain. You won't count, you won't end here. You will go to the turning chain of the first stitch. Or you can make that loop bigger so you know that it's that chain that you need to go into for your last stitch, because this is worked that you count the chain ups to go to the next row as your first triple or double crochet, because we are using double and triple crochets in this tutorial, in this pattern. And I do apologize, sometimes I kind of pull a little too hard, but it'll all look okay once I'm done with this row. The first row is always the trickiest. Now this is kind of splitty yarn. Let me go ahead and redo that one because that was splitting on me. So you may want to just be careful on which yarn you get. Like I said, I don't know what this yarn is. I do believe it's 100% acrylic. It doesn't feel like any kind of wool. I know there's some fuzzies to it. But I don't think that there's any cotton or anything in it. I just remember Impeccable having a color that looked very similar to this from a Michaels. So that's why I think it's Loops and Threads Impeccable. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this tutorial today. If you want to skip ahead, you can to the next row. Now the next row is going to be the first row of the X stitch. Well, it's considered the flat X stitch. But it's actually not a hard stitch. All right, getting very close to the end here. Only got a couple more stitches left. And the way that I did this pattern is so there's one triple or double crochet at either end of the row, so it kind of balances everything out. And again, there's that squeaking, and I do apologize. I do like these hooks, other than the squeaking, and again, it could just be the type of yarn that I'm using that's causing the squeak. I'm not sure. But these are from, if you haven't watched yesterday's video, Friday's video, then just to let you know, these are from Coopay, the Coopay company. They no longer offer the ones that are with the ergonomic metal hooks. And I was kind of disappointed that they stopped carrying those. Their site on Amazon says that they're out of stock and don't know when they'll be in. All right, so there's the first row. Okay, all triples. And then the next row is going to be triples as well. So we're going to go ahead and chain 4. Of mine. 4. And then if you're using stitch markers, you're going to want to put your stitch marker right here, this stitch, the one right below the one on the loop, because that is going to be your turning chain, and that's where you're going to want to go into for your last stitch. All right, and then go ahead and turn, and then you're going to go ahead and yarn over twice. You're going to skip this first stitch, You don't want to go into that one. You're going to go into the next one because this does count as your first triple. You're going to go in that one, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2 loops only. You're going to yarn over again, skip a chain, skip the next stitch, and then into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. That is the start of the X stitch. It kind of looks like an upside down Y, and I'm sorry that if you can't see this very well. I will try to write up a pattern for you all and post it on my website for you to get it for free. So then once you do that, you're going to yarn over, chain 1, yarn over again, and into this here and this, which are the 2 stitches that connect the bottom of the X. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. There's your first X stitch. That's the only bad part about those hooks is they try to, okay? And then I will also put pictures of this on my website as well. So that's your first one. You're going to yarn over twice, or yarn over twice, and into the next stitch, you're going to start the next X. So you'll pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, skip a stitch, and into the next one, and then pull up a loop, and then finish the triple crochet. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And there's the first part of it. I'm going to chain 1, yarn over again, and then go back into that one and this one, and then pull up a loop, and then finish your double crochet. All right, and then you'll continue that down to the last stitches. You'll have some remaining. I'm going to keep going so you guys can watch. And again, I do apologize for how this is looking. I'm trying to look at my screen, and while I'm doing this, and I'm sure you can see it. I'm hoping you guys can see it. And just continue down. So you're not gonna skip any stitches between each one. It's just the skipped one while you're working on the stitch itself. So into the next stitch, you're gonna start your triple, yarn over, skip a stitch, into the next one, yarn over, pull up a stitch, and then you're going to complete the triple crochet. And then it's chain 1, yarn over once, because this is just a double, and then into those 2 tops of the bottom part of the 2 triples, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then you've completed another X stitch. Now there should be 7 if you're making a swatch, doing a smaller one, so you can see how it works up before you go to the larger one, like the wrap. Again, the wrap is a little different from what I'm showing you guys, because I realized my boo-boos, and that's why I'm glad I did that first before I did the tutorial for you all. All right, and then into the next one. Again, like I said, this is pretty easy. You can slow me down. You should be able to slow me down by clicking on the 3 little dots and changing the speed of the video. You can always pause and go back. I am thinking of another pattern to do that is similar to this one, but it's different, and I will, show you guys that once I figure out the multiples and all that for it. All right, now I did my chain one already, so we're gonna go ahead and go into here and finish this one. And it is burning up in my office right now. I had to turn the fan off. Sorry, I keep getting messages that I have to respond to. All right. And the start, and I'm trying to make sure you guys can see this, and I do, like, again, I will get this figured out. Maybe next time what I'll do is just take off the phone. I don't know, that might not even work. Oh no, that would work because my camera can be tilted. If I do a tutorial again in the future, I will try it with my camera instead and have it down and work around that, so you guys can actually see everything that I'm doing. But if you're listening to the steps, you should be able to get it. If you can't and you have questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to me through my email, which is always in the description link, in the description box below. Okay, there's that one. What I was doing before was doing a chain 2 between on this row, and that's not necessary. So that's what I did on my starting, my trial and error. And all right, so we are getting down to the last couple X's here. I have one more X to do after this one, and then it will be that last stitch as a triple crochet. Okay. Yep. All right. Don't be worried if you think you're running out of stitches. You're really not. Skip into that one. All right. Okay. Chain 1. Yep, I did not do a chain 1 yet. Okay. And then into those 2 stitches. Now this would work great for like a shawl, like I did, a wrap, anything like that. I would not suggest it as a blanket because there are these spaces between the stitches. So I wouldn't recommend it that way. Maybe a scarf for the summer, a wrap, anything like that. Okay, so here's where I was talking about with the last stitch. So this was your last stitch you used for your X, for the last X. And then into this right here, I don't know, can you see that? This part right here. So that's the 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's your fourth, the top of the chain 4 that you're going to want to go into. You can grab both loops if you can. If you can't, you can just grab the one loop, and this is the last stitch is a triple. So let's go ahead and show you what that looks like so far. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So because it's worked over 3 stitches, you'll want to make sure that you have the stitch count that you want. So like I had this, the shawl, the wrap that I did, and the marble from Karen Marble Cakes, that one was 145. which was 45 times 3. So I had 45 sets of X's, and then the 2 end triples or double crochet. So let's go ahead and go to round 2. Row 2, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to want to put your stitch marker in that one, in the top of the chain 3. Turn your work. And this one is going to be a little tricky here. So this does count as your first double crochet. And because we're not actually going into the first stitch, this one here, we're going into this chain space. Go ahead and chain 1, and then yarn over, go into that chain 1 space at the top of the X, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go back into the into the chain space, pull up another loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Don't go anywhere yet. We're not done. One more time. I'm going to yarn over, go through that chain 1 space, pull up another loop, yarn over, pull through 2. You should have 4 chains on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll yarn over and pull through all 4 chains. Okay? And that completes that 3 double crochet cluster. Okay, and then after that one, you're going to chain 2 because you're skipping 2 stitches, and you're going to yarn over and go into the next chain space at the top of the X, yarn over, pull up a stitch, pull up a stitch, pull up a loop, pull up a loop, pull through 2, or yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull up another loop, yarn over, pull through 2. You have 3 loops on your hook. One more time, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through 2. Should have 4 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then yarn over and go through all 4 loops. And then you'll want to do that all the way down to the last X. Once you're done with the last X, I'll meet you back there. So if you want to pause the video and then come back when you're at when you finish the last 3 double crochet cluster together, you can always fast forward to the next step. All right. So now chain 2, 1. Let me make sure I did chain 2 here. Okay, there's my last loop. Chain 1, 2, yarn over, because you're skipping the top of the 2 tops to the X, and then you're going into the next one. And then you're going to start the repeat again. And if I'm going too fast, again, you can slow this down by changing the speed of the video. And then there's the 4 loops, go through, and that's it. And then chain 2, 1, 2, and then into the next one. There's 3, 1 more. Okay. And then there's the 4. Yarn over, go through all 4, and then chain 2. Okay. All right. Almost yarn over twice. No, it's only yarn over once for double crochet, Crystal. I mean, it might start bunching up on you a little bit, which is okay. You'll always be able to, what's the word that I'm thinking of? where you get it wet and then you lay it out, and blocking, that's what I'm thinking of, blocking. You can always block it if you need to, if it's scrunches up too much. All right, then chain 2, then back into the next chain 1 space, one, two, three, four, pull through all 4. Again, I know that squeaking is probably going to come through on my microphone. I have a really good microphone, so when I actually plug it in, I still can't believe I did that the other day. When I was recording, I totally forgot about plugging in because I do have to unplug it and make sure it's plugged back in. All right, this is the last 3 double crochet cluster. You're going to finish just like before when you have the 4 loops, yarn over and pull through all 4. This one we're only going to chain 1 on. And the reason that is because this here is the last stitch. So we don't want 2 chain spaces. So you're only skipping 1 stitch, which is this one here, and going into the turning chain. Yeah, if I can think of the names of these things, that'd be wonderful, right, guys? All right, and I'm gonna try to get both loops. I'm not sure if I will. I did. Okay, and then you're just gonna do a normal double crochet, and then that's it for round 2 or row 2. Round 2, row 2. You know. All right. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then your 2 double crochets, the chain 3 and the actual double crochet here. And then row 3 is just a repeat of row 2. So you'll want to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, turn, and you're still going to skip this very first stitch right here. You're going to skip that and go into the next one, which is technically this space between right here and here. So you can either go into that actual stitch, or you can go, I went into the space, and then you'll start the X stitch. Remember, it's yarn over twice, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over. You're going to skip over the 3 double crochets, and either, like I said, you can go into the stitch or the chain space, whichever you prefer. Yarn over, pull up the loop, and then you'll just finish the triple crochet, and then chain 1, and then go back into this right here where the 2 tops of the bottoms of the triple crochet are, which is the joining stitch, and go through those 2 side stitches, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, now this is going to be a little different on this one, but it is exactly like row 2, because there's the 2 chains between the chain 2s, getting tongue-tied, between these 2 clusters. That second chain is actually your next stitch. So you'll yarn over twice, and again, you could go into that stitch, or you, like I did, was go into the space, start your triple, go through the first 2 only, yarn over again, skip over the double crochet cluster here into the next space, pull up a loop, and finish the triple. Yarn over, pull through 2, 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 chain 1, and then double crochet into these 2 side stitches that are the connecting stitches for the 2. Pull up a loop, go through the 2, 2, and you've just completed your second X. And you'll repeat that all the way down to the last double 3 double crochet cluster, and I will get back with you once I reach down there with the next step. All right, and then all right, so back to what's been going on. All right, so yesterday's video will have things that I've recently purchased at Amazon. You will see the rest of the hooks are going to be in this video because it was a pack of hooks. I did get a yarns per wraps per inch tool. It also has other tools on it too, and it does also have a key ring on it so that you can take it with you if you need to. Now remember that when did I chain? I don't think I chained one on that one. All right, let's go ahead here, and no, I did not. Okay, so there we go. I'm talking and forgot to chain one. That's all right. At least it was easily fixed. So there we go, and then back into those 2 stitches there. Pull up a loop. I mean, you'll notice if you missed it because you won't be able to get that little chain space at the top. Okay, and then back into that same chain 2 space to start the next X. And then you'll repeat the rows 2 and 3 until you have it the height that you would like to do. Now for the wrap that I did 19, I do believe. I'll count it here in a second. But that did not, I think it's 18. 19 would have been if I had enough to do another border, an edge like this one here where I did all the triples on it. If you have enough, you can do that. And you can do it either on the double crochet cluster, or you can do it after an X row. However you want to do. If you want to make it look like the bottom, you can do it after the last row of X's, and I'll show you that after this row. Chain 1. I know I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but I just wanted to let you guys know after this row I'll show you how to finish the pattern off. I realized yesterday when I was doing the chain 2s between the X's that was actually causing an extra stitch, so I was like, well, let me see here, I need to fix this. So I started another a smaller swatch like this one, and there goes my voice for some reason, to see what would look better, and this does look better. I mean, either one looks lovely, but if you do the one with the one like I showed you at the beginning of the video, you won't be able to do this part at the top, and you can always use it to add fringe though, if you'd like to add fringe. Now the wrap that I did took about 400 yards to make, because it does use the triple and the double crochet and chain spaces. So if you're using a smaller weight, it'll probably take more than that, maybe closer to 600. Again, it all depends on the size of what you're making. Will also depend on how much yarn you'll need. But the one that I did took about 400 yards to complete. All right, we're almost on the last X, to make the last X. All right. And if you need to, you can always pause the video and go back to the start of this row if you're having some questions about it. I do like how this is working up. You can always do one row of one color like red and then a pink color. There's nothing that says you have to do, one color for this pattern. You can change it up. You can do all one color. I think it would look beautiful in different colors. If you do make this, please, let me know. You can send me an email. I do have my Facebook. Do I have my Facebook on here? I'll see. I'll make sure to put my Facebook on there. Link on there for my. It's gonna say Mama Bear's Creations. But it is the Facebook page that I use. I have not actually created a group for Pseudos Crochet and More. I will look into doing that though, to where you guys can post those things. And there's also where you can, send me the email and I can post it on my website as well, which is in the description link below. All right, chain one. Okay. And since this was the last X, we're not chaining space. We're not doing any chain spaces or anything like that. This one right here, the top of the chain 3, 1, 2, 3, which is the turning chain, we're going to go ahead and put a triple crochet in that spot. And I did grab both loops. Like I said, if you can't grab both of them, you can just grab the one to do your last stitch. All right. So there's that. So you have your first row is triples. Your second row is the first row of the X stitch. And then the third row is the 3 double crochet pattern stitch, and then the next one is the repeat of row 2, and then row 3 would be a repeat of next run would be a repeat of row 3. So you would start out with the 3 double crochet or 3 chain 3, and then put your stitch marker in that third chain, the one right below the loop, and then chain 1. So you basically make a chain space between the last stitch or the first stitch and the first 3 double crochet cluster. All right, so I'm going to show you how you can finish this off to make it look like the bottom with the row of the triple crochet. So we're going to chain 4 because it's going to be triple crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn, and then we're going to skip this stitch, which is the first stitch, and we're going to go into the top of the first X stitch and triple crochet. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. You'll do that 3 times, and then you can either I should be able to get into, oh no, I'm not going to. So into either this stitch, the chain, chain 1, or into the chain 1 space, whichever's easier for you. I'm going to try to get into this chain 1 here. There we go. Sometimes it's easier, and sometimes it's easy, and sometimes it's not. So if you're having difficulties, you can go down into the chain space to make that triple. And then you'll just repeat this all the way down to your last stitch. And into the next one. I hope you are all enjoying this tutorial today. This is the first time I've done a tutorial, so if you have any pointers for me, I'll be willing to take them. as far as being able to see what I'm doing. I understand that it might be hard for you to see it. And again, I do apologize that it's going to be kind of on the hard side. Even with my camera pointing down right at it, it still looks like it's going to be harder to see. All right, let's go ahead and get that chain space one. And if you think, I would like to know if you think the Hugs and Kisses title for this pattern would be cute, or X's and O's, because that's what the triple crochet is supposed to mimic, is an O. Oh, there goes that squeaking again. And I know I said to you guys that I would put pictures up of my girls playing at the park while I was at the last local yarn store, craft store. Unfortunately, I never did download those to my phone. My husband sent them to me through text message, and I never got to them through the phone, to put them on my phone and then to... Is anybody going to be doing the yarn crawl this year? I'm not sure if that's in all states or if it... Oh, there we go, chaining one. That's not supposed to happen. Or if it's just where I'm at. Oh, somebody just... Alright. I'm hoping that I'll be able to go to at least a couple stores during that time. I don't think I'll be able to video because those places are going to be very busy with customers, so it might be kind of that following week might just be a week where I go over with you guys anything that I've done since this time. The store in Abingdon is doing a grand reopening, which is the likely yarn, so you might want to check out to see what kind of deals that they're having at that time. I don't know if it's just going to be in store that they're going to have the deals. I did get an email about that the other day. It is not this coming weekend, but the following weekend that they're doing that, which is, I think, is also, if I'm not mistaken, from Jennifer at Cinnamon Stitches, that is also the LYS day. One of those days is LYS day. I can't remember if she said it was this coming weekend or that weekend that store is going to be having a grand reopening. And into the chain one space, or the chain one space. The chain space, chain one space. Okay. And there, I'm almost done. I think it's because I'm getting really hot and right now. My place I'm living at right now, it does not know when to what temperature to keep the place at. So it's either really cold or really hot, even if we have the temperature set at a decent set decently. It's just so weird. I don't know if it's because where we're at, the apartment is in basically the apartment was started in the ground, like where your basement would be if you had a house, or if you have a house. It's just really weird. It doesn't know what to do. It's either you're freezing or you're burning up in it. And then when we get too cold, we turn the temperature up, and then we start getting too hot. All right, so that was the last stitch before the chain stitch here. So you'll still want to make sure that you get this, otherwise it's going to look a little funky when it's all done. You'll have a missed stitch here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 right here, and this one, I think I'm in, I don't know. Let's see. There we go. All right. And there is. And then once you're done, you can tie it off. You can add fringe on the edges or on the side if you're doing a wrap or even a blanket. Or if you want to add another border around there, you can, like do single crochet. If you did something with a border, like a simple stitch, like single, double, anything like that, for the chain 3 or the triple crochet sides, I would do at least 3 stitches in there. And then for the double crochet, maybe 2. You just want to kind of even it out so it looks good. So there's the finished product in the swatch. And I don't know why the heck that looks like it's I mean, a little blocking probably wouldn't hurt doing on this one. All right. Well, there is the tutorial for the X and O's or hugs and kisses pattern. I would like to see what you guys think, what it should be called. Maybe I'll put a poll out tomorrow later today to see what you guys would like to have it named. If you think of any other names, you can always let me know as well in the comment section below. And if you have any pointers on, getting maybe better angles for you guys with the tutorials, I'll be glad to, take those into consideration going forward. All right. Well, I hope you all have stay safe and stay crafty. Until next time, have a good one.